Hello, everyone. Happy Independence Day. Well, I'm not an American. Today's ID 4. However, Independence Day is kind of a meaningful theme, isn't it? For whoever you are and wherever you are. You know, especially because all of us, we do want to have independence, right? We want to have our freedom, and we especially want to have financial independence, financial freedom. So I hope everyone's having a great time wherever you are around the world. I'm Jonas, and welcome to our live AMA this 4th of July, 2023. So for today, we have some important updates for all of you. There are some important things we want to share with you. So make sure you stay here with me and you spread the word. You share the news, you invite others to join in on this live event as well, because you do not want to miss out on some of this information. So hold on to that, because I'm not going to reveal it just yet. I'm going to do a little bit of a feature presentation, a little bit like I did last time. As you know, the goal, the vision, the mission of MetFi is to be the #1 incubator of Metaverse and Web3 unicorns. We're seeking out viable projects in the Web3 and Metaverse space to bring to the community for a vote, to invest in, so that we can all enjoy these benefits in the future, and the hopes that they will become unicorns for all of us here in the MetFi community. That's the goal, that's the idea, that's the vision. So I hope that everyone really connects with that idea and that concept. Last week we talked about Metaverse. This week, the feature presentation is about Web3, to get a little bit more of an idea about Web3. Now, Web3 is kind of one of these hyped sort of buzzwords in this day and age. You know, it's the popular hip thing to talk about in the tech space, you know, and of course, when we talk about Web3, then automatically we think in terms of blockchain, which would be totally accurate. You know, we think about DeFi, we think about NFTs, we think about things that are kind of in the general crypto space. But maybe we don't really think about infrastructure. Maybe we don't really think about all kinds of industries and sectors being disrupted by this technology. But I'm here to tell you this evening that the big leaders in business and the experts and the academics and those who are studying the tech space, they are not just thinking about things to do with cryptocurrency or NFTs or art or entertainment. These people are thinking about infrastructure. That's why people talk about Web3 as the next internet. Not just because it's cool NFTs, it's cool blockchain. All of that is part of it. That's all very cool, not to deduct from that. However, what people talk about when they're talking about these things is the future of the internet itself. So that's where we're going to go today with Beyond the Hype Pro predictions on Web3. So I hope that this won't take too long. I'm going to try to skip through it really quickly so we can get to all the interesting announcements. I'm hoping that this won't be a very long session, so make sure, as I said, you invite people in and come and meet with us here soon. All right, so even though much media about Web3 revolves around NFTs, like I was saying, you know, all of these things to do with DeFi, and those are very much part of it. In fact, Web3 adoption is much wider, much bigger, much more expansive than that. And we're going to look at now, like, what sort of business leaders are really looking at Web3 and making predictions in this space. Well, probably you've heard of the big 4 accounting firms. These are massive companies. They're 4 big competitors. They are operating pretty much in, well, definitely in every major territory of the world, and probably a lot smaller ones as well. So that's PricewaterhouseCoopers, or easily said just PwC, Deloitte, EY, which is Ernst & Young, and KPMG. So all of these big players, the big 4 accounting firms, have all made big Web3 predictions. So starting in alphabetical order here with Deloitte. Deloitte says that Metaverse and Web3 are poised to drive revolutionary advancement and technological breakthroughs which could shape new forms of communication, innovation, prototyping, In other words, new models in terms of innovation and tech solutions, and community formation, and new business opportunities. Now, the big four, they're all about helping big companies to succeed, to go further, to have success. And so they're not looking at sort of fringe business. They're looking at mainstream. They're looking at things that are going to bring billions and trillions of dollars in revenue. That's what these people are looking at. And so when they're making predictions, they're making big predictions. Here we've got EY. The metaverse hype focuses on consumer aspects, and this is kind of what I was alluding to just now, but Web3 also holds exciting potential for enterprise and industrial players. So we're talking about where these people are looking is enterprise and industrial places, where there's big multi-billion-dollar companies. Can Web3 be the driving force between the next industrial revolution? Now that's a big statement, because this is historic. Then we've got KPMG, another one of the big four, saying, is your organization ready for the coming Web3 tidal wave? Many businesses are beginning to realize the massive implications this next iteration of the internet may have on the future of business. So notice, it's not really like a question. It's not like if or when, it's talking about that this is going to happen, that this is a reality, that it is going to impact. And I don't think these people just throw around predictions lightly, because they have major, massive reputations to uphold. They need to be seen as serious players, not people who are dabbling in hype and trends only. They need to be looking at the big business trends and industry trends and economic trends. PwC kind of mirrors that. In fact, they say something very, very strong. Web3 fundamentally changes the way businesses take place and how we connect to one another. It's more than metaverse, cryptocurrency, NFTs. It's the next chapter in the evolution of the internet. So that's the big four. Every single one of them has made predictions. They have big reports on it. They offer consulting solutions related to blockchain. So this is where these big companies are going. Then another set of bigs is the big three consulting firms. Now, these are companies that, well, they're expensive. They cost a lot of money. So if you're going to hire Bain and Company to come in and consult your organization, you're not a small corner shop. You're a big operation, because you're talking about costs in the millions. But the idea of a consulting firm is they come in and improve your efficiency. They improve your bottom line. So that investment in them is worth it, because you can actually cut costs. You can improve in your competitiveness. You can improve in your profit margins. So that's why people, big players, work with these big companies. And there are three big consulting firms: Bain and Company, McKinsey, and also BCG, which is the Boston Consulting Group. They, not surprisingly, have also made big predictions about Web3. Bain says, same thing, mirroring what's been said so far, the next generation of the web. Not ambiguous, not questioning. These are pretty clear, definitive statements. It incorporates components such as blockchain, smart contracts, digital currencies, and non-fungible tokens, has quietly started to spread throughout banking. So while there's some people kind of criticizing blockchain, kind of criticizing cryptocurrency, throwing big words like scam around, these big players are quietly incorporating blockchain solutions and even NFT and cryptocurrency and digital currency elements into their internal operations. So this is the real thing. We've got BCG, and they say, we expect Web3 and traditional financial approaches to coexist in the foreseeable future. So it's not seen as a major conflict where, okay, it's a disruption. There's no question about it. But now that the disruption has happened, these are going to coexist. They're going to work together. They're going to mesh, because I don't think the big bankers are going anywhere. They're going to be there. And if they don't get on the bandwagon of blockchain and Web3, well, they're going to be left behind. And they recognize this, as do these consulting firms, right? And here we've got a sort of a word of advice from McKinsey and Company, which is, I think, you know, Bain and McKinsey are the biggest ones, and then BCG is sort of secondary, but still one of the big three. So they say business leaders shouldn't confuse market fluctuations, you know, the market swings, bad actors, you know, the people like, you know, FTX that cheated people, you know. You shouldn't be confusing those things with the potential uses of digital assets and the technologies that underlie them. So the proverbial throwing the baby out with the bathwater is not wise. You know, I was you know, writing something about this, and I'm hoping to make this into a blog post as well. It's getting close to being done, but like, okay, so the internet, you know, it's changed all of our lives, you know, but of course it has negative uses. Bad actors are on the internet, you know. There's predators who are using social media. Does that mean it's all bad or horrible? Well, no, because it's just a medium. And so blockchain shouldn't be besmirched. The reputation of blockchain shouldn't be harmed by the bad actors. That's a separate thing. And that's what McKinsey is saying here. Applications for the next generation of the internet continue to spring up in a growing number of industries with potentially transformative effects. So we're seeing here that this is actually spreading into multiple industries. And we're seeing that maybe this space that all of us are operating in is a pretty good place to be in at this time in tech history, in internet history. This is where the trends are moving. Okay? So when we look at mainstream Web3 adoption sectors, okay, so of course, we don't have to talk anymore about NFTs or about crypto or about exchanges or DeFi and all these things. Those are matters that everyone here in this space is probably quite well acquainted with. Well, maybe we don't realize the inroads that blockchain is making into other sectors. You know, like it was saying earlier in this presentation about how other industries, not just in digital finance. So the sectors are accounting, banking and finance. Yes, we alluded to that, but it's not just crypto. It's not just DeFi. It's also digital currencies, right? It's also cross-border transactions. Using blockchain is possible in other spaces. In fact, I know that there are some internet banking and mobile banking applications that actually use blockchains for their transactions just because of the security it offers. There's energy and eco solutions. You know, we've heard about things like carbon credits, right? When companies are known to be polluting the environment, well, what happens is they have to kind of offset that carbon footprint with doing positive things. And carbon credits is kind of notorious for a lot of fraudulent things. You know, so what happens is they need to document that there's certain feeding back, you know, into the environment, you know, sort of offsetting the negative carbon footprint. So they talk about, you know, forestation. They talk about different initiatives that do bring positive replacement back into the environment. So carbon credits have had a problem. Well, blockchain solves this problem because blockchain is transparent and it's non-manipulable. It's not able to be manipulated. That's why blockchain is so powerful. Healthcare, you know, you've got problems where people's health records get mixed up, people's pharmacy orders get screwed up, and there's impact that happens in the industry. Well, blockchain can solve that problem. Identity verification and KYC. So what we've got a problem of in Web 2 is stealing of people's personal information. You know, people are not very happy about the fact that all their private information is being sold in marketplaces between big tech giants making more and more money. Well, with blockchain, you can do your identity verification without having to expose your personal life. Insurance is another place where there's often a lot of fraud. Well, blockchain helps to offset that. media and entertainment. Not just NFTs, but that's part of it. Yes, you have movie NFTs, you have music NFTs, you have art NFTs, but also blockchain is a great solution for verifying ownership. Digital content is verified on the blockchain, which means that you can prove that that is really your original piece of work. Real estate, what about if you could have your title deeds on blockchain? There's been cases, in some countries where there's double copies of title deeds and it becomes this big court case. Well, blockchain doesn't allow that. Supply chain management. This is a huge one that a lot of big players are getting into, even voting and elections. Now, we're getting a head start about it here in the MetFi DAO. Things function in a decentralized manner on blockchain, and things are decided through voting. Well, that can easily be scaled to a global level in terms of national elections that happen or local elections that happen, where we know that there's often problems. Okay, so when we're talking mainstream, what are we talking about? Well, I actually, full disclosure, confessing to all of you, did not know that IBM was this actively involved I didn't know that they were this actively involved in blockchain solutions. IBM is a massive, huge company, as you all know. Well, they are providing blockchain solutions to really big companies like Renault, a car company, the Home Depot. Some countries have the Home Depot. Other countries have other versions of a similar concept of the Home Depot, but basically the Home Depot is just household goods, hardware items, supplies that you need for construction, that you can do your DIY, do it yourself, home things. Well, they have to run massive amounts of stock, huge amounts of stock. And so blockchain provides them a solution with their supply chains, and then we already talked about the environmental issues, right? And we've also got a banking situation here in France. I don't know how to say it in French, but the French bank, they're looking at working with IBM. In fact, they've already started working with IBM for digital currency. That's what's going on right there. Okay, I'm going to continue on here. Here we can see, so IBM actually works with something called the Hyperledger Foundation, which is an open source operation. The Hyperledger Foundation is the solution that IBM connects with to provide blockchain solutions to their customers. And you can see here the level of players that are involved with the Hyperledger Foundation. Hitachi, Fujitsu, Accenture, American Express, Deloitte, that accounting firm that we were just talking about, Bosch, massive multinational corporations working with the Hyperledger Foundation, which is a blockchain solution. So that's an interesting thing to bear in mind in terms of this sector. And this Hyperledger Foundation was actually developed with the Linux Foundation. So some of you who are a little bit more techie will, of course, have heard about Linux. So Linux is an open source alternative to Mac OS and Windows. It's open source, so when people don't want to pay for a licensed Windows or they aren't using a Mac, Linux provides another operating system that's open source, that's free. All right. How are we doing there, everybody? We're all doing well, I hope. I hope everyone's keeping up with this and that it's interesting enough. Let me just check out how we're doing in the comments and so on. Hello from Thailand, nice and educative. Hello MetFi Thailand, hello from Thailand, awesome. Thank you all the Thai people who have come. Metaverse is the next wave to this earth. Matt, I agree with you. I agree. We've got a few Thailand people here. Wow, Thailand's really coming strong in this event. Awesome stuff. Okay. So, news updates. Well, recently we all voted on some changes, right? And these are changes to bring more benefit to the MetFi community. We all voted on these changes, and I believe that the time frame that was offered at the time was around 3 months. The presumption was that it would take us around about 3 months before these things could be implemented. Well, my big, bold piece of news for all of you tonight, or today, or this afternoon, is that the devs are pushing hard to deploy changes by the end of this month or early next month. I hope everyone's excited about that. That's a big, big speeding up of the process of getting these changes implemented that everyone recently voted on. And these are things that benefit the MetFi community a lot in a big way, and should lead to other positive changes for the whole MetFi platform. So let's recap what those are. Okay, there's split rewards, right? We're going to go into it in a minute. The Plankton NFTs and some MetaQuiz enhancements. Now, these are not the full range of development solutions that are underway right now, and may come as soon as the end of this month, at the end of July, but these are the fast-tracked ones, and these bring very big benefits. Now let's go into details. So, split rewards. As was voted upon, now, once this is implemented, what will happen is that 80% of your MetFi rewards or commissions will be paid in your preferred or selected token. Now, the default is USDT. Some people may prefer or click on Bitcoin as an option. That's all possible, as you have known and as you have seen in the back office. However, the new development that will be going into effect very soon is that 20% will be paid in unstaked MetFi tokens. Now, how is that good? Well, the reason that's good is because those tokens, they do not come from the staking pool, the staking contract. They do not come from these other big wallets of MetFi. They will be bought from the PancakeSwap liquidity pool in the smart contract transaction. So the benefit there is that this creates some buying action every time that these commission payouts are made. So all the time there's this purchase of MetFi from the PancakeSwap, the public market, the mainstream market for MetFi, which is amazing because then you've got a continual stream of transactions and you've got that buying pressure. Now, of course, many will decide to hodl, and they may take those MetFi tokens that are unstaked and decide to stake them to their NFT. That's your personal decision. They are unstaked. There is yours to do with as you wish. But if you decide to hodl, that may be a strategy you would want to consider, and it will benefit the protocol, of course. However, presumably many will decide, and so even if tokens are sold, price will just return. Okay, so many people may decide to go ahead and swap them back to USDT or whatever. And so in that case, of course, that's a selling event which affects the token price. However, the worst case scenario is that, well, it just goes back to the same price it was before. And if nothing else, the volume is a positive for everyone. So this is also kind of cool that, okay, the standard voted upon ratio was 80-20, 80% in your selected token and 20% in MetFi that's unstaked. However, there's going to be the functionality there that in the future, in accordance with everyone's decision, there may be a possibility to switch that around. You can make it 90-10 or 75-25 or however the ratio should be in the future. That's going to be a functionality that will be in place as this goes into effect, which is a positive thing. Now, the Plankton NFTs. Now, this is really awesome because these are entry-level Plankton NFTs cost only 10 USDT. And so that allows a much lower entry barrier for those who are not really used to this space. You know, maybe they just want to get their feet wet. They're not really prepared to spend 100 USDT. That's not a lot of money, but it still is a significant difference for someone who wants to start out. So with a Plankton NFT that's only 10 USDT, well, you have this potential for mass adoption because it's not just an empty 10 USDT. It's not a purchase of tokens. This is actually purchase of an opportunity where they get to buy MetaQuiz tickets. And also with this 10 USDT Plankton NFT, you can actually pull people in, invite people into the platform by gifting them MetaQuiz tickets. And later on, once MetaBid is released, then you can gift that as well. So this provides kind of this instant gratification scenario and an instant inroad into MetFi for people who are not used to it, who don't know about it. Maybe they're a little bit nervous even about crypto or blockchain. Who knows? So this way, it's a low intensity thing with only the equivalent of $10. Okay? And MetaBid tickets will allow bidding for coveted products like one whole Bitcoin. So that entry point being lower allows people to access these products on a much wider scale, and this brings benefit to the DAO, it brings benefit to the whole community, it brings rewards to everyone, and it provides the way, it paves the way for mainstream massive adoption, right? And then we're also going to be hearing more about more value and utility that's planned for the Plankton NFT. So stay tuned, stay with us on that. All right, so MetaQuiz enhancement plans and proposals. So there's a plan to kickstart the deployment of the Plankton NFT implementation. Once that whole thing gets active, once it gets going, there will be the plan to kickstart it with a boost in the prize pool to make it more attractive, you know, to make everyone want to take part and get that Plankton NFT. And MetaQuiz players will be shown some text. So trying to make it easier, holding on to the principle of this being a learning game. It's not just some kind of a lucky thing. It's also a matter of learning about Metaverse, learning about Web3, learning about MetFi itself, information from the white paper so that we can educate the community and become stronger together. Well, of course, there's been some wrong answers given, and of course, once there's a wrong answer given, that sort of cancels out that MetaQuiz ticket, you know, and the money just goes to the treasury. However, now they're going to simplify this by showing some text which contains the right answer before you take the quiz. So you can enhance learning and you get a better chance of getting a correct answer. You know, everyone really wants everyone playing to have a good chance at winning. One lucky person, now this is important, this was announced, I don't want you to forget this. During this period in the run-up to the Ocean Summit in Dubai, which will be held in November, one person will win a Platinum VIP pass to the Ocean Summit in Dubai every single week for the foreseeable future until further notice. So for this period of time, every single week, those people who join in and play the MetaQuiz game will have a chance at getting a free Platinum VIP pass. That's no small thing because a Platinum VIP pass has a value of over 1,000 USDT, right? The early bird price is 1,100, but it will go higher later on. So that's a very valuable gift for those who want to play. Now, here's an additional proposal which really shakes things up and is very interesting as well. It makes it a lot more attractive to want to play the MetaQuiz game, and that is adding a probability factor, right? So every week, as you know, there's one first prize winner, right? And that person wins up to 90% of the prize pool, right? If the person has a humpback, the person can get a full 90% of that week's prize pool, right? And the other 10 winners they share the remaining 10%. So it's 1% each. However, now in this proposal, which of course will need to go to the community to discuss and vote upon, but in this proposal, it's shaking things up where it's not just one big jackpot every single week. However, there's an increased level or lowering of the probability, possibly a 1 in 4 chance or a 25% chance of winning, right? So there's a reduction in the possibility of winning the first prize. And why? Because that money that doesn't get won that week will keep accumulating into a jackpot prize that keeps growing, and it increases the first prize pool each week until a winner is drawn. So it's a little bit like, some of these, I don't want to call this a lottery. It's not a lottery. It should never be called a lottery. But you get the idea of a growing prize pot, a growing prize pool. The first prize, as long as it doesn't get won, will continue growing week by week by week, which adds the interest and the excitement in wanting to play MetaQuiz, because you have the chance at a much bigger prize pot if you win the first prize that week. So the prize number 2 to 11, that will stay the same every single week, just as it's been. It's just the first prize that there's this idea of adding the factor of probability. In other words, lowering the chance of being able to win that prize so that it will accumulate into a bigger prize pot, a jackpot prize pot that will keep growing. I hope that's clear to everybody. I'm sure that you can ask questions about it. And again, this isn't implemented yet. This is in the books, but it seems like a pretty exciting idea. As I said, prizes 2 to 11 will remain the same. Now, here we go. Another bit of news which has been announced, but in case you missed it, the early bird ticket price for the Ocean Summit in November in Dubai has been extended to the end of July. So it was supposed to have ended on the 30th of June, just 4 days ago. However, due to suggestions and people's requests, they're extending the early bird price all the way till the end of this month, to the end of July. That's pretty dynamic. So you should really get people going, inviting them to join this event. It's going to be a very memorable event. We get to meet a lot of big players, a lot of big leaders, a lot of big experts face to face, all there together. And there's going to be some amazing events and activities. And remember, there's the leaderboard as well, right? So the leaderboard is live on the oceansummit.biz site. For those who have bought a ticket, you can see the progress of the leaderboard and take a shot at being one of the 100 leaders that win a free Platinum VIP pass for this event. You know, this is undergoing. Remember, there's the minimum requirement for those who want to be part of those promotions. The minimum amount of people you'll need to invite for up to the end of June, up to the end of July, and up to the end of August in order to qualify. And those who became MetFiers after that whole thing started, well, they just need to reach the minimum amount of points in the leaderboard in order to qualify for this. So this is not a lucky draw thing. This is 100 top performers. So it's just performance based. So as long as you qualify, as long as you invite enough people and refer them into the MetFi community, as we know, it's a minimum of a total of 2 NFT number 4s or above in June and also end of May. And there's 2 minimum of NFT number 4s and above in July, and 3 at least NFT number 4 or above in August. So 2 plus 2 plus 3. That's the requirement, 7 points in order to qualify to be on that leaderboard, as well as the other qualifications which you know about, and you can go and look at them in the website. But this is a very memorable occasion, an important event that we will all get to share together, and it's not one you want to miss. So make sure you keep working there, and remember that if nothing else, do grab this special early bird ticket promotion while it's still active up until the end of this month, because after July it probably won't be extended anymore. So you want to be grabbing those tickets as soon as possible while that option is there. Any NetFier, anyone who has a MetFi NFT can purchase these tickets, as we showed in the video in the beginning. All right. Well, as I promised, I was going to try to make it not too long-winded tonight, make it a little bit faster and cover all that material. Once again, you know, if any of you are interested in some of those slides with information of Web3, you know, let us know, and we can put that out in a PDF so that you have that just for your reference, you know, to learn about it or to share it with your communities, share it with your members, your leaders, your teams, you know, because I don't know, but for me, it makes me excited to be in the place that's really moving forward in this era. Okay, this is the tech revolution that we're currently experiencing, and we're just at the early stages of it still. Okay, the concept of Web3 has been talked about for quite a while, but the functionality and the implementation of it is really just starting to snowball. It's just starting, and the big players are there doing it. You know, they're there functioning in that space. So that's where we all want to be, right? So let's keep ourselves informed about Metaverse and Web3. Let's keep learning. Let's keep getting information. Let's keep being excited about. This is stuff that most people can't access. These are projects, the projects that are being incubated and invested in. Those projects aren't accessible to the general public. MetFi provides you that access. It's a fractional access, and this proves the point. It proves the concept of blockchain. Because of blockchain and the functionalities surrounding blockchain, including smart contracts, that gives everyone the opportunity to access these opportunities. All right. I'm going to look at some questions here. Wow, there's a lot of questions. Excuse me if I'm looking down at my screen. Thanks for the encouragement and all the nice words you're sharing. Wow, 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 great. Wow, that's great. Yes, excellent. Wow, perfect. Welcome. Split rewards will apply by pressure to the MetFi token. I'm most excited about the split rewards, says Matt. Absolutely awesome. Yes, and what's really awesome, we knew that that was going to happen, but what's super awesome is that it's coming so soon. So we've got, thanks so much for Oled for helping to moderate here. Once live, 20% of MetFi rewards will be bought from the liquidity pool and distributed. And the ratio is not set in stone, as we explained, as I just talked about. You know, that is something that can be shifted. It's a sliding thing that the community can decide to shift, or for a period of time shift it, or whatever. That's what's cool about it, because it doesn't require going back to the drawing board and redeveloping those solutions. Matt also says, I like this update to MetaQuiz. Thank you. And I want a Dubai ticket. Well, buy your MetaQuiz tickets and trust your luck. Okay, this is a lot of very positive things being communicated here. Thanks again, Oled, for your moderation. Okay, there's questions being asked. Well, from my part, I'm happy and content to be here with you, and I hope you've all enjoyed this. A little bit of news for all of you in case you didn't catch that in the Discord channel. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be doing an AMA, an interview with another one of our partner projects, which is Sona. So this is really, really cool. And in my prep for this interview, I found out some really amazing information. So you really want to be looking at that interview as well. It's going to take a little while, again, because this is a taped interview. I'm going to be taping it tomorrow. And after I've taped it, there's a little bit of post-production that happens in this case because it's not fully live. It will be a live interview, but it won't go out without a little bit of editing, you know, just sort of enhancements with the sound and so on, and piecing it together a little bit. So that will be coming really, really soon, an AMA with Sona. And I can also tell you that there will be upcoming AMAs with our other project partners as well. So stay tuned, stay with us in this space, keep following, keep growing, keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing best, and make it, you know, above and beyond, higher and higher, growing and growing, doing the best you can in every way. So I'm going to be leaving you now. Thank you so much once again for your support and encouragement and for being with us tonight. This video will go up on the YouTube channel. If you missed it tonight, or some people in your community missed it, you can share it with them. For tonight, I'm going to say Happy Independence Day, whether you're American or not. And enjoy the day, enjoy the night, wherever you are, and good luck, and see you next time.